Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J, live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Thanking everybody who has been rocking with us tonight as we have our fun. We get through the discussions of the night. As we know, we have a lot to get through tonight. Thank you to those folks that are listening to us or watching us on Facebook Live. We appreciate those folks that are checking with us on TuneIn, as well as those folks who are checking with us on Streamer. We appreciate those folks who are listening or watching the replays right now, and those folks who are listening to replays on YouTube as well as on iTunes. Y'all rock with us. We roll with y'all. 804-402-2893. Shout out to my co-host Big Sis and my other co-host Mr. 3375, whatever the hell is making them giggle so freaking much. And, the folks on TuneIn Live are just as, interested as, what is giggling them up as I am. And so, I'm going to put them on the spot before we get into some seriousness. What the hell y'all laughing at?
We were laughing because it looked
y'all looking at naked pictures?
You did not. You didn't say them pictures, did you?
Y'all looking at naked pictures?
I ain't send no pictures.
Ain't no naked pictures?
Don't send a picture.
I ain't gonna send no pictures over.
Oh, okay. Because there's naked pictures.
We laughing because in the pictures that we took for our anniversary.
Oh man, not
it
them.
Looks like I have two knees, like one knee is on top of the
One of your knees got like the Michael Jordan cry face on that joint. He got the Michael Jordan cry face on that joint.
Two dark skin parentheses.
Yo.
A little fat in the middle.
But you know what though?
Dang.
That's a dope ass picture. Let me show Facebook Live this picture, right? Facebook Live.
Oh baby, my finger.
All right, well, move your finger then. Quit being a punk. Damn. Facebook Live, right? I mean, for those folks who didn't see, we a handsome lot here at Legacy Internet Radio. Even that's why we are a handsome lot of people here at Legacy Internet Radio, and so we thank y'all for supporting us. All right. We do need to turn down the tone of the show and get into some seriousness. And one of the things that I want to talk about is the attack that happened at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. And the reason why I want to talk about it is, one, if you're listening to this show, we do current events, you're kind of expecting us to talk about it. That's the main reason. The other reason is it's dominating the news, and I'm sure everybody in the room has an opinion on it. The short version is Omar Mateen left his apartment right outside of Port St. Lucie in Florida, drove about an hour, 2 hours to Orlando, Florida with some weapons and went to a nightclub called Pulse. Pulse is a gay club in Orlando, Florida, and it was Latin night. Right now it is Latin Pride. It's also Gay Pride in America. And most of the people that were in the club that night were people of Latino, Hispanic descent. Spanish people. Puerto Rican, Cuban, Mexican. Those folks were in the club. Most of them were gay. Omar Mateen goes in there with a gun somewhere around 2 o'clock in the morning and decides that he wants to act a damn fool and shoot it up. And Mr. 3375, 2 o'clock in the morning, he's wilding out somewhere between 2 and 5, because 5 is when it really, really, really went down.
Right.
Somewhere between 2 and 5, he's shooting up, and you got people in there texting their mamas, like, mama, he about to kill me, and all that kind of stuff. And he calls 911 and says, I'm a member of ISIS. This is ISIS. And we know that ISIS is the Islamic terroristic organization that's based in the Middle East that has beef with us here in the United States of America. And so this dude who has no known Islamic ties other than he's got a Muslim name. Apparently he was not a practicing Muslim.
Right.
He didn't have no beard. And for those folks that say, you didn't have a beard, what's that got to do with anything? We know that a lot of them cats got beards because it's part of their religion. He ain't had no damn beard. It's Ramadan. Part of Ramadan says you ain't supposed to be acting a damn fool killing folks during Ramadan, but apparently he did. What's up, DJ Renee Melendez? DJ Renee just checked in.
DJ.
So Mr. Mr. 3375, I'm gonna step off the soapbox with the idea of me eventually jumping back on.
Right.
You jump on the soapbox.
I'm just still, because this is no ordinary club in Orlando. This is one of the most popular clubs in Orlando for gay people, and I'm still trying to figure out how he got the weapon inside the club. Like, it's crazy, he had to have a partner, because I know they checking for weapons. It's no way he could have got that gun in that place.
It may be inside then. Maybe inside.
That's what I'm saying. He had help. They just don't know who it was. And it's crazy what I'm gonna. I got something that I'm gonna talk about in the Sharon Pimple room. So I ain't gonna let it out right now. But it ties into this whole situation. It's crazy, I just feel for the families, man. I mean, it's tragic. Like, it's 50 people dead and 53 people hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of people. And he came and done what he set out to do, and it's crazy.
But is he really a part of that group?
Probably.
Like you said, he didn't appear. His appearance wasn't up to par, and he was supposed to be pretty much studying now. But
I can't really say if he's a part of that group.
I would think that he's crying their name out.
Yeah.
Just to cry their name out.
Right.
At this point.
I think it's different organizations just trying to hit America, period. I mean, I don't even think it's just ISIS. I think it's just other people.
Oh, there's always a lot going on, because, in other groups.
Yeah, because that's time proven. American United States are bullies. We always sticking our nose in other people's business when we shouldn't even be sticking our nose in. So, of course, people going to retaliate.
9/11 and,
Shout out to our sister Brenda is checking us out.
Hey, Brenda.
What's up?
And our brother Antonio Tin Man
is
checking us out as well.
Yeah, so.
I just, I heard about it, and I had a conversation about this earlier. But, you can only imagine how bad these people's families are feeling right now. You can't begin to find out what was going on inside this idiot's head that he went in and did this. Like, what reason could you possibly have?
Tony, jump in here. What's your thoughts on this whole thing? I got specific questions that I'm going to ask as we progress throughout the night, but I want to kind of set up with everybody's kind of initial statement. You know about what's going on in Orlando in the nightclub. Just initially, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I'm always thinking about, terrorist attacks. Ever since 9/11 happened, I'm always wondering, are they going to hit up a daycare or the mall on, Black Friday? So it's not, unfortunately, it's not surprising. It's very sad. It's heartbreaking that people can't go out, that you can't live your life in peace and just go out and have a good time, celebrate and be celebrated, and not make it home again. I did read, I want to say it's either on MSN or CNN earlier, that someone was interviewing his father, and he thought that perhaps the fact that his son had seen two men kissing in Miami a week or so prior might have set him off. But I don't see, I'm not buying that. Yeah, it is questionable whether or not he is actually, a part of ISIS, but ISIS or not, it was a terrorist attack, and, I'm glad he's dead, but he ain't the last one.
Right. At the end of the day, in my mind, I still believe that somebody in America, an American, is behind all these attacks.
You mean the government?
The government, exactly.
Hold on, wait.
Exactly.
Are you suggesting conspiracy theory?
Exactly.
Oh, no.
You can't just make a statement like that and just leave it there. So you got to give me more.
I will at the Shad Pepper room.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's talk about a couple of things, because as we know, as this thing started coming out, we were talking about the differences between, not necessarily on this show, Big Sis, but just in general, we were talking about terror attacks and hate crimes. And the fact that this man is a Muslim, the fact that he practices Islam, or at least his family has practiced Islam. His family is from Afghanistan. His father is a person who is known to have Muslim rantings. He was one of the first people to come out and talk about his son. We know that Omar Mateen did not have a beard. I'm going to specifically bring that out a couple of times because we know, if we care to know, that most practicing Muslims usually have beards.
Yeah.
We also know that currently we are in Ramadan. Part of Ramadan says that there are to be no acts of violence towards others. So the fact that we've had this act come up, my question to the panel and my question to you in social media as well as on Facebook Live is, was this a lone wolf attack, regardless of the fact that he made the 911 call that said that he was saying he's part of ISIS and all that kind of stuff? Was this a lone wolf attack that was a hate crime, or was this a legitimate attack of ISIS, domestic terrorism, Islam against America? What are we dealing with? I got the floor. I got the panel on the floor. Big Sis, you were first.
I've got a question. You know, I would say it's just a lone attack. It's a hate crime. It's all in his head. Because by now, wouldn't ISIS say if that was really them by now? Because they don't. You know, if it's them, they come out and they say, "Yeah, that was me. That was us."
Yeah.
You know, nothing's come out. You know, they haven't said, "No, it wasn't me." At least I didn't hear it. I'm not one for the news, y'all know that. But
Right.
I didn't hear anything about them saying, "No, it wasn't me." So I'm thinking this is a hate crime. This is all in this kid's head. You know, I think, you know, just listening to all the stuff that you put out on the table, I'm thinking that there may be a little bit of static between the son and the father as far as religion may be concerned. And this kid is being rebellious. I'm thinking he's just, you know, freaking. I don't want to say the bad word, but he's like just freak it. He hates. So this is what he did. This shows his point. He's being a smart ass, and now he's going to say, "Oh, this is ISIS." He called 911. He really put his foot in the religious mouth, in his religious mouth, or his father's religious mouth. I don't think that is him. I don't think that is ISIS. Rather, this is all in his head. This is a hate crime. He's mad about something, and this is the way he took it out.
Now, when we say a hate crime, are we saying that this is a person who made a point of attacking gay people? Because there are reports, Facebook Live, Legacy Internet Radio, TuneIn, Streamer, iTunes, and YouTube. There are reports that this person specifically was asking the victims before he killed them, what's your religion? You know, he said, I ain't got no issues with black people. Like, this was a dude who was actually going in and saying these things. We getting a hit from our brother Marcus Johns. He's saying, y'all know the No Jason Bourne movie is coming out next week. Not sure why he's telling us that, but he's shouting us out, so we're going to shout him out. What you think? That's why. The fact of the matter is, this dude is saying, yeah, and I shouted you out because you jumped in here, Marcus. So I shouted you out. But the fact that he was saying these things, what do you think about this?
I don't know. I'm just really confused with this character. I still say he just hates. You know, maybe if he would have found someone who would have said, you know, oh, they were a Muslim, maybe he would have let them out or tell them something or whatever. I don't know. I think he just wanted to see who's in the club, who can I kill, what different. I mean, he just hates. I can't come up with anything else.
And there was also mentioned, too, and I heard people talking about this, that he may have had some mental health issues in the past. There was some sort of history.
Apparently, he was very violent towards his ex-wife. She had some issues with how he behaved after they got married. And there was definitely, Tony, I'm glad you brought that out. There was some mental health issues going on.
This is
Shout
in
out to
the
our
head.
sister Jane. Our sister Jane's checking in, and our brother Sid. What up, bruh?
What's up, Sid?
Sid is checking in as well. Mr. 3375.
The reason I believe it wasn't ISIS because the number is too small.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
When I heard 50 got killed, 53 got injured, they on a bigger scale than 103 people.
I don't know that I agree with
I
that.
disagree with that
Yeah.
because
I
I
don't
think
agree
with
with
them it is more like the shock factor.
Right.
Just like what happened in Paris.
Right.
People sitting out, having a good time at night,
Right.
eating outside on the terrace.
I'm going to put the devil's advocate out there that's going to make some folks uncomfortable. Facebook Live, y'all ready to be uncomfortable? What's up, June? My brother June is checking us out. I'm about to make some of y'all uncomfortable. This dude went in there with a couple of handguns, and a rifle, and 50 people died and 53 people got shot. Now, I don't know that this dude had 103 rounds with him.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the fact that there might have been some friendly fire going on here that will be attributed to Omar Mateen. Now, I'm not saying that this dude was innocent. Obviously, he went into a nightclub with the expressed intent to create havoc and terror and murder. However, 50 people dying, are we going to attribute all 50 of those people dying to Omar Mateen? Are we going to attribute 53 of those folks that are injured to Omar Mateen? Is that fair to do that? If we're going to be accurate, if we're going to be fair and accurate, this dude apparently went in there at 2 o'clock in the morning with his weapons, and he acted a damn fool, called 911 and said, I pledge myself to ISIS. From most accounts, he didn't have enough weaponry to shoot 103 rounds, let alone shoot and kill 50 people and injure 53 people.
Right.
So how many rounds?
Wait a minute, but he had an AR-15.
Let me tell you, I know what you're getting at. Because when
So
the
that
guns
could
went
be-
off, a lot of people could have got trampled. It could have been another gun in there, somebody else
That
shooting.
goes
Right, but
a
back
lot
to
of
the
things
assault
could have
rifle.
contributed.
Exactly.
Help.
But
Right.
with an assault rifle, though,
Yeah.
you can have
Yeah,
that
don't you
many
have that-
rounds.
yeah.
Yeah, because if you have them on a belt, yes, you can
The-
have
You can get it.
103
The 53
rounds.
people that got injured probably got knocked down. People trying to get out of there, elbows, and some people might got killed because all it takes is a one push and a hit to the head. You done.
Our brother Marcus Johns is still listening. He says that when he mentioned the Bourne movie earlier, he says it's a great movie with tons of information related to many of the attacks that we see here in America and abroad. Sleeper cells come in all shapes and all sizes. He's appreciating us shouting him out. The fact that he makes that point, Jay, what you think? He talking about sleeper cells, man. That's
Yeah,
a
man.
very fair position.
Yeah, man. I mean, time has told that a lot of stuff that's happening that is in the movie first, letting you know. I totally agree with him.
Tony, let's keep it moving. Let's advance the conversation into another direction. The direction that I want to go in, let's talk about the people who are looking to help those folks who have been injured and those folks who have been affected by this attack. We're talking about people who have tried to give blood, donations. And we found that many of those folks, if you're watching the news, if you're watching the media coverage, you see that with all the loss of life and all the injuries, you've seen people trying to give blood. I remember I tried to give blood after 9/11 and other major attacks here in the country. That's just something that I'm an organ donor. That's what I do. And a lot of those folks in Orlando, that's what they do as well. They have decided, and this isn't new, that folks who are homosexual, gay, are not allowed to give blood. It's a new thing to say within the last year if you've been with a man, if you are a man. It used to be if you've ever been with a man, you cannot give blood. Now, we know that the gay club that was shot up was specifically targeted. It was targeted because they were gay and homosexual. It was targeted because the people there were Latino. Spanish or however the appropriate way to say it, those folks were the ones that were targeted. What I want to bring up now is the fact that gay people, gay men, are not allowed to give blood to help what's going on here. Tony, you up first. What's your thoughts? Before you say that, shout out to my brother Damon. Our brother Damon is checking in right now. What's going on? Our brother Damon is checking in. Damon is asking what the phone number is. 804-402-2893. That's the number to dial. Tony, jump in.
That is the most asinine thing I have ever heard. I thought at last check, African American women were the ones contracting HIV at the most rapid rate. Is that not accurate anymore?
I'm not sure.
That's the way that's been for the past few years.
All right, we got a caller. Caller, this is SY and Ain't No Have Steppin with Marcus J. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Caller, can you hear us?
Hello?
Hi, this is SY. You're on live with Ain't No Have Steppin with Marcus J. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and what's your comment?
Hey, what's up? This is PB, Marcus's friend from Jersey. I got a little comment about the topic that's going on right now.
All right, PB, what's up?
Yeah, I just want to talk about this whole thing about the conspiracy theory and the friendly fire and everything like that.
Okay.
I think one of the things that people are forgetting is that a lot of the stuff that happens with these quote-unquote Muslim extremists is that a lot of them are empathizing with what's going on in their homes and in their own countries. They see the United States of America as the bully of the world. And you have to keep in mind, we have wars going on not only in Afghanistan, Iraq, we've got wars going on in Syria, we've got wars going on all over the place in the Middle East. And these people are saying to themselves, you know what, we got to retaliate. We got to do everything we possibly can to make the infidels of the United States feel what we feel. Our innocent mothers and daughters and fathers and sons are getting killed trying to find these ISIS terrorists and everything like that. But on one of the comments that I want to comment on one of the things Marcus has said about the friendly fire. I'm not sure how all that goes. My one question is, one, how you get this gun into the club? In the news, they're talking about how, excuse me, this man was a security guard that had a license to a gun for his job. And other news reports are talking about how his father was running for president of Afghanistan. So, I mean, you have to keep in mind that, yes, this was an act of hate and this was an act of terror, but you also have to keep in mind that a lot of these people that are doing these devious, hateful, sinful, evil acts are doing this because of what we have done around the world. Now, I'm not saying it's right. I know we want to look at ourselves as big brother to the world. We have so many treaties with so many countries for us to help them protect their borders from all of these other people. And unfortunately, we are the ones that are doing most of the killing all over the world. And these people are, unfortunately, doing what they can do to get back at us. Whether it be, you know, like my man said, you know, ISIS, the number that they killed was too small. They don't care. Whether it be 100, 500, 5,000, they don't care. And the fact of the matter is, they're going to do it until they think that we have gotten our act together to pull our asses out of wherever we are that we're not supposed to be.
All right.
And the other thing about it was, Mark, you know I love you to death, bro, but friendly fire in a gay club, the only gun that's in a gay club is the gun that they got in their pants. They trying to share with the dude that's at the bar next to them.
I got you, man, and I get the tongue in cheek, but here's what I will say about that. First of all, shout out to our sister Shayna Latia, our clairvoyant medium, who's checking us out tonight.
Hey, Shayna.
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say to you, PB. The fact of the matter is, I heard presumptive Republican nominee Donald J. Trump go on the news today and talk about this, and a lot of people agree with him, whether you're a conservative or not. I am a person that is 100% for gun rights, Second Amendment rights. I'm a member of the NRA. I keep it 100 with regards to that. Having said all that, there are a lot of people who feel as though having a gun in the club, along with Omar Mateen, may have been something that could have prevented this from going the way it went. You're talking about Omar Mateen getting in that club with his gun and other folks being in that club with their guns. Now, I'm going to be clear. Chances of you walking up on me without mine, very slim. If you want it, come get it.
Right.
I mean, that's just how I roll. But if you are in that club and you got a gun, we've been in clubs. We've been in that club in Elizabeth, New Jersey, you and me. We've been in that club in downtown Newark, New Jersey, you and me. You know what I mean? And you came to visit me here in Richmond, Virginia. We've been in clubs here in Richmond, Virginia. Imagine if you and me had been in clubs where someone had done the wrong thing, like Omar Mateen. What's up? The point guard is checking us out, PB. You know who the point guard is. Shout out to our sister Missy J. If we had been in these clubs with our guns and we saw something go down, adrenaline to get a hold of us. We in a dark ass club. We see a guy. Let me finish. Let me finish. No. Let me finish.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Let me finish. We in that club, and as the bullets are flying towards us, we sending bullets towards the shooter. We don't know who is standing next to him. We don't know who's standing behind him. It's a dark ass club, and we are untrained militarily. Do we really want to be in the position where we are the ones that are sending friendly fire?
Nope.
Back to you, bro.
I understand what you're saying, and I totally get what you're saying. The one thing that you have to keep in mind is the fact that all of those clubs that we've been into, a lot of those clubs that you see all over the place, with there's guys coming in there with guns, trying to be hard, this, that, and the other. That's understandable, but you have to look at it like this. This is a gay club, okay? This is a gay club. And the only time that somebody's going to go into a gay club, is if they are gay. They are homosexual.
That's not true.
Not true.
Not true.
Untrue.
Not true.
Not true at all.
I've been in gay clubs.
So have I.
Let me finish.
I've been in gay clubs.
Let me finish.
I've been in gay clubs.
I understand. I've been in a gay club too. But a lot of the times, those gay people that's coming into the club, they all about having a good time. They all about spending time with their people. They all about celebrating. There's so many people on they were talking about on MSNBC how they were saying, oh, this is a celebration. This is us getting together. This is us having a good time. The only time that you're going to actually see something like that is if somebody's going to come in and try and be hateful. In this instance, Omar Mateen was coming in and to be hateful. Now, I'm not going to knock your theory about the friendly fire or anything like that. I'm not going to say you're totally wrong. That's your opinion. I have mine. Everybody else on your panel or whoever's going to call in is going to have their opinion. But my thing is this. Until the United States of America realizes that an AR-15 gun or any type of military weapon, I'm not trying to take away nobody's guns or take away nobody's Second Amendment rights. Everybody has the right to bear arms. I agree with that 100%. It's in the Constitution. That's how it's supposed to be. But until the United States and these people realize that an AR-15 or any type of assault rifle that they want to claim and use that's for hunting or all this other bull-ish is legal for people to buy in all places, Walmart. Of all places, Walmart. You can buy an AR-15 gun, military-style weapon inside of Walmart. To do what? That is a weapon of mass destruction.
As long as your name is not John Crawford and you ain't black, your ass might not get shot buying a damn AR-15 in Walmart. But here's the deal.
Or your name Jack Bauer, you ain't getting shot by no AR-15.
But here's the thing. I want to address a couple things you said, bro. The fact that when we mentioned gay folks going in the club, like I'm gonna challenge you on that because gay
Challenge.
gay people are just like everybody else. You got some really messed up people that's gay, and you got some really great people that's gay. So just
True.
because you gay going into a club doesn't mean that you got positivity in your thought process going in that club. So that's the only thing that I would challenge you with in the things that you said. That's the thing that I would challenge, because just because
I give you that. I can't 100% agree with. I can't 100% agree with. Just like I can't 100% agree with the fact of other people going into other clubs without any ill intent.
Right.
But
a person is a person. I got gay people in my family. Hey, look, we brothers. We know gay people ain't came out yet. We probably done hung out with them and they act a damn fool. We get to the club, you like, damn, you act crazy. Then we gonna find out 5 years from now, you gay? It's like, for real?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't have no issues with you on that level.
But the only reason why I say what I said about that with the club, because gay and lesbian, the LGBT community has been shunned for so long. And it's hard to imagine that people are going to congregate in a club that they know that is a gay club, that they're going to be in a gay club, and they're going to be like, oh, let me bring my gun. Let me go ahead and bring my gun. Now, I can understand that they might want to do that. I can understand because they know that if they leave that club, they're going to get all of this kind of ill will and hate and all this other stuff because they know Pulse is a gay club. The owners of that club are straight as hell, from what I heard on the news.
Yeah.
The owners of that club are straight.
Right.
They run that club because they love the community.
Right.
But we'll just have to agree to disagree on that whole aspect. Of that.
I don't think that we disagree. I just think that we're looking at it from a different perspective with regards to intent. Because just because you go to a specific club doesn't mean that you have intent one way or the other. But what I really want to address, and I want to ask you this last question before I let you go. I want to talk to before I let go. The question that I want to ask you is the fact that he's there, the fact that he did what he did, the fact that he is someone who is of Muslim descent, the fact that by most accounts of those folks who care to pay attention to Muslim people, what do you think about the racism or the bigotry is probably the better word that the United States people has been forced to lay upon him? And let me just add this last piece to it. Last week, Muhammad Ali, who is a gay...
What do you mean forced upon? Say that.
I mean forced upon us as the media is making us, because, if you watch the media, if you see anything enough times, eventually that's something that becomes part of your doctrine if you are someone that can be led astray.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And so what I'm saying with regards to that is, if last week, and shout out, hey, look, my auntie is checking out. What's up, Aunt Cheryl?
Auntie Cheryl.
My Aunt Cheryl's
Auntie.
checking out. What's up, Auntie? Love you. If you last week watched the Muhammad Ali funeral, Muhammad Ali is probably the most famous Muslim American. And last week, we were also scared of gay people going inside the bathrooms because we thought they was going to rape our women and molest our children.
Ridiculous.
Whereas this week, we are upset with Muslims again, as we had been in the past. And now we are standing beside our gay people. So having said all of that, what's your thoughts on the hypocrisy of of the American people in media with regards to that? That should be your final word, brother.
In all honesty, kid, I think it's deplorable. It's deplorable. There's a part of me that knows that people around the world, and I don't even talk about around the world. In the United States of America, there's a lot of people that look at the icon Muhammad Ali as a Muslim, but there are so many more of those people that probably don't look at him as a Muslim, but probably look at him as a black man, African American man. And a lot of those people that look at him as an African American don't see Muslim, because they don't see many Muslims talking what Muhammad Ali talked. They don't see or hear Muhammad Ali's preachings from all of the other Muslims around the world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them know of the Muslim faith or know of the Muslim culture as the people that wear the scarves on their head or the women that wear the scarves on their head, and they're fearful of that. They don't know. That's the worst part about it. Whatever you don't know, you fear. And the thing about Muhammad Ali was, Muhammad Ali lets you know where he was coming from, lets you know what his heart was, lets you know what his intentions are, lets you know what he wanted for this world to be. Now, the unfortunate part about it is you don't hear that a lot of times from the basic Muslim man or woman. And unfortunately, that's what people breed their fear on.
Right. I can dig it. And you know how Steppin with Marcus J, live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. That's my brother. Yeah, sir. That's my brother right there, my brother PB. He wants to be called PB on the air.
PB, no, like, where's Jay?
We know how you do, brother. Thank you for listening, man. Thank you for being a part of the show tonight, man. And hopefully,
number love for you, baby. I'll let you later.
Hey, love you, brother. Hopefully, we have you on more officially in a later time, man. Be cool, brother.
Oh yeah, no, I'm tuning in tonight. So if whatever the topic is next, I'm definitely gonna be up on it.
Hey, my brother.
Okay, we're gonna be looking for you.
We're gonna be looking for you, brother. Be cool, man.
No diggity, no doubt.
You know how Steppin with Marcus J, live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Tony. PB said a whole lot of stuff, man, and one of the things kind of towards the end of what we were asking him about was the differences between last week as we were celebrating the Muslim Muhammad Ali, formerly known as Cassius Clay. We know that the American people has been indoctrinated with this fear and distrust and hatred of Muslims. Here in our country, we've been taught by the media and by those folks who are in power that a Muslim person is someone that we should not trust. But at the same time, when Muhammad Ali passed away last week, or actually on my birthday on June 3rd, he was someone who apparently elevated above that. So we spent all of last week celebrating him. And in the previous weeks, we were afraid of gay people going in the bathroom with us because they might just be transgender and they might just want to touch us and they might just want to look at our balls and our tits and they might just want to touch our children and all that shit. You know what I mean? You can tell how I feel about all of that by the way I set that up. Having said all of that, Tony, what's your thoughts?
Well, I think that a lot of people came to respect Muhammad Ali not necessarily because of, him and his religious beliefs, but because he stood up for himself. Mm-hmm. And he stood up for what he believed in. And he never made it okay to do anything less. As far as us, being taught that, Muslims are, scary people that we shouldn't trust, is no different from people being taught that black people are savages and we're violent and, can't be trusted. So I just think that people need to gain their own knowledge and understanding and not pay so much attention and put so much fruit in the media and what's fed to them.
Mm-hmm. I agree with Tony. It's just kind of like you're, like PB said, you're afraid of, what you don't know. We hear a lot of stuff and we just take it at face value. Like Tony said, gain your own knowledge. I'm not worried about, I'm going in the bathroom. Who's going to be in the bathroom? You do your business and you leave my business alone. We good no matter what gender you are. We good.
Right.
So, I'm not. Some of the things that go on don't deserve as much attention as they get.
Right.
People are people. You're a person. I'm a person. Tony's a person. Mr. 3375 is a person. We're people. And if we stop judging each other and stop throwing hate, we wouldn't have all this crazy concern and things in our heads that really don't even concern us.
Right.
So, I don't know.
No, that's a very good point. Muhammad Ali, since we're talking about him, Mr. 3375, he has a quote I want to read this quote, and then you can speak whatever you want to speak. But he says, in part, we all have the same God. We just serve him differently. Rivers, lakes, ponds, streams, oceans, all have different names. They all contain water, so do religions. Have different names, and they all contain the truth, expressed in different ways, forms, and times. It doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim, a Christian, a Jew. When you believe in God, you should believe that all people are part of one family. If you love God, you can't love only some of his children.
Yep.
Muhammad Ali said that.
Yep.
Mr. 3375, you say what?
Yeah, and I agree. I always take people for who they are. Just because, the Muslims do this, some Muslims do this, I'm not going to categorize all Muslims in the same category, because all of them not bad. Same with Christians, same with Hindu. I got friends in different religions. I take them for who they are, not what they believe in. If you're a good friend to me, I'm a good friend to you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's how I live my life, so.
No, I can dig it. The last thing that I want to add to this segment before we get out of here is the whole gun thing. And, this particular person apparently was on the watch list. He was investigated. Omar Mateen was investigated in 2013. He was investigated in 2014. Apparently, this is someone who was an ISIS sympathizer, and we know that ISIS is a group that's an offshoot of Islam that has issues with the United States of America. Just like the Ku Klux Klan is an offshoot of Christianity that have issues with black people, Jewish people, and everything that ain't white. Having said that, the fact of the matter is these folks have issues. And this dude, who is an ISIS sympathizer, was able to obtain a weapon. And you got a lot of people in this country who have issues with gun regulation. And the fact that some folks in this country, quite frankly, shouldn't have no damn gun. You just shouldn't have a gun. If you're an asshole, you shouldn't have a gun. If you're somebody who sympathizes with a known terrorist organization, you shouldn't have a gun. If you beat your girlfriend, you shouldn't have a gun. If you beat your child, you shouldn't have a gun. If you're a stupid person, you shouldn't have a gun. If you're a normal, law-abiding citizen who goes about his business or her business every day, and you look to have a gun to make sure that you protect your family, so that you can go hunting, so that you can have it for sport, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a gun. There's a difference between the two. Having said that, Big Sis, jump in here, talk to me a little bit about how this dude, in your opinion, has a gun, but the folks on the right think that the president of the United States wants to take everybody's gun from them.
See, that's one of the things that don't deserve attention. It's the idiots who hear what they want to hear and not what was being said. So as far as they're concerned, in one ear, right out the other. But the young fella with a gun, still we're saying there's definitely some inside going on.
Tony, we know you're ex-military. I don't know if your opinion with regards to weapons is different than us as civilians. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Floor is yours. The fact of the matter is, this man was on the FBI watch list. He was cleared. We can talk about why he was cleared. That's a discussion for another time. But he was, in fact, cleared. But he was able to purchase these weapons recently, I think within the last few weeks. What's your thoughts on the fact that you are having some folks say that the president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, wants to take your guns from you, but someone who probably should not have been able to obtain a weapon was able to obtain a weapon?
Well, I disagree with that. And that list of people that you just read off that should be excluded from being able to have a gun. I think at some point or another each of us fits into one of those categories. So then that means nobody should have a gun. But that's not reality, because you can't check. You can't check and run a check to see if somebody's stupid. You can't run a check to see if, if somebody beats their wife, if they've never been arrested, there's no, police record or anything like that of it. You don't know those things. So, and even still, just like with everything else, you can make it illegal, but people are still going to get it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if it's legal or not. People are going to get it.
Ain't no how Steppin.
Totally agree.
Ain't no how Steppin with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Listen, y'all, we're going to take a break. But as we take this break, we're going to go into a segment where President Barack Hussein Obama is in a town hall meeting. He's speaking with a United States of America citizen who specifically asked him about guns and his idea of taking guns away from the American people. I want y'all to hear this because it's relevant to the discussion that we are having. And the fact of the matter of people thinking that the president wants to take your guns from you, and the fact that more people in our country have purchased guns since 2008 when he took office than at any point prior to that point in history. We're going to talk about that. We're going to listen to this segment. When we come back, Big Sis is going to take us into a segment called The Healthy What the hell was that? I think I caught her off guard, y'all.
That was Homer Simpson.
Yeah. Don't. Big Sis, after we talk and listen to the President of the United States in a town hall meeting, we are going to talk about what?
Well, we're going to talk about something that has been in the news for a little bit that we should be watching out for. And then I'm just going to do a really, really quick piece on something that I just found out.
On something she just found out.
It's all healthy, y'all. It's all good, though.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Yours truly, Marcus J. Big Sis. Our sister, Miss Tony, Mr. 3375. Be back in a few, y'all. Listen to the President of the United States of America, Barack Hussein Obama, talk to us about his idea, what he wants to do with your guns. Be back in a few.
The NewsHour, President Obama joined Gwen Ifill for a wide-ranging interview and town hall meeting in Elkhart, Indiana. After the broadcast, the president continued to take questions from the audience. Gun shop owner Doug Rudy challenged the president's record on gun control.
Knowing that we apply common sense to other issues in our society, specifically like holding irresponsible people accountable for their actions when they drink and drive and kill somebody, and we do that without restricting control of cars and cell phones to the rest of us, the good guys, why then do you and Hillary want to control and restrict and limit gun manufacturers, gun owners, and the responsible use of guns and ammunition to the rest of us, the good guys, instead of holding the bad guys accountable for their actions? And
first of all, the notion that I or Hillary or Democrats or whoever you want to choose are hell-bent on taking away folks' guns is just not true. And I don't care how many times the NRA says it. I'm about to leave office. There have been more guns sold since I've been president than just about any time in U.S. history. There are enough guns for every man, woman, and child in this country. And at no point have I ever proposed confiscating guns from responsible gun owners. So it's just not true. What I have said is precisely what you suggested, which is why don't we treat this like every other thing that we use? I just came from a meeting today in the Situation Room in which I've got people who we know have been on ISIL websites, living here in the United States, U.S. citizens, and we're allowed to put them on the no-fly list when it comes to airlines. But because of the National Rifle Association, I cannot prohibit those people from buying a gun. This is somebody who is a known ISIL sympathizer, and if he wants to walk in to a gun store or a gun show right now and buy as many weapons as ammo as he can, nothing's prohibiting him from doing that, even though the FBI knows who that person is. So, sir, I just have to say respectfully that there is a way for us to have common sense gun laws. There is a way for us to make sure that lawful, responsible gun owners like yourself are able to use it for sporting, hunting, protecting yourself. But the only way we're going to do that is if we don't have a situation in which anything that is proposed is viewed as some tyrannical destruction of the Second Amendment. And that's how the issue too often gets framed.